course, many moments later, I was in India working at startup of Target. So then the second sort of crazy networking thing was I was with Target a while, but I was also extending my own network with people. Someone who'd actually reached out to me for a job, and I did not at that time want to leave Target. I still maintained that network, that connection. I reached out to him like 5 years later when I was ready for a change. And I was like, hey, I'm kind of, I've been with Target for about 8 years, 8.5 years. I'm sort of looking for a change. What advice do you have? And he was like, you know something? If this is what you want to do, I have the perfect opportunity for you. And next thing you know is I'm back in India. And this time I was actually in Minneapolis when conversation was happening. I'm back in India as head of HR for LinkedIn. And it was again through a network. So these connections are super, super important. So the last thing I just wanted to share was, in addition to giving, actually, one thing I want to elaborate on with what Mickey said about giving is that what have you given to somebody lately? Stop and just think about it. If you haven't, I would encourage you right after this, just think about your network and say, I'm going to just give advice, counsel, a relationship, a referral, a thank you card, a thought, expertise, free expertise, some of that, any of that. The second part around the taking or the receiving with gratitude is think about what have you received lately. And if you haven't, that's the time to ask and ask for some stuff that you think you can receive with gratitude. Because when you actually thank somebody for helping you with something, it's a gift that kind of pays itself forward because they get excited about it and want to do this for other people too. And then the last thing, this notion of calibration was, I thought, a very important lesson that I learned in the beginning. Because being an introvert, it bothers me to have to go out and start like networking big groups and so forth. But this idea of looking at your contact list and saying, who do I connect with on a weekly basis? Who do I connect with on a sort of a bi-monthly, monthly basis? And then who do I connect with on a quarterly or even a yearly basis is important. It's important to just kind of run through this sort of checklist of people. LinkedIn is obviously a great tool to do stuff like that. But as you think of that list, it's the people who are in your 3 to 4 month contact list or even your quarterly, your bi-yearly contact list who are super important to helping you because they don't know you well enough that they are concerned about, being too close, where there's conflicts of interest and those kinds of things. But they know you well enough that they respect your professional perspective, they know you for what you're looking for, and there's enough of a relationship that they feel comfortable referring you into things and doing stuff. So I would say refresh that list periodically and make it an annual activity. Think in terms of circles of people. And that opportunity is really, really important because that's what kind of keeps your network alive. So those are my sort of 3 things to take away from networking. So thank you.
I'm not sure I can. Can you hear me? Can you can you hear me? Sorry, first time keeping microphone. So I'm Russian. I left Russia in 1999, almost 17 years ago. When I moved, I was 27 years old. I had my 5-year-old son with me, and I didn't care about how I will do it. Okay. Is it better? So when I was 27, I didn't speak German, and I moved to Munich, and I didn't care how I will make it. I was lucky. I met a lot of Russian friends. They showed me the way, what to do, how to take school for children, how to get first doctor appointment, and so on. And at the end, I learned German, and I stayed in Germany. It doesn't work. I stayed 12 years, but I could not say I integrated. So I didn't feel myself I didn't feel myself Russian anymore and not German yet. I met French man and I married him. I got 3 more children. And with my big family at the end, we decided to move to France. I did not speak French and I was older. And there I was like lost. I moved to Grenoble. I didn't speak French again, but I didn't know how to start to live there. So I spoke English, Russian, German, but I could not socialize with French people yet at all. So at the coffee break, in the evenings, they were speaking French, and at the moment they started discussion in 15 minutes, I was about to say a word, to add something, but it was too late. So obviously 6 months, it was for me like, I did not talk to anybody except my husband and my children. What was not too much fun. In September, so it was 6 months after I moved, just by chance, I've met an American woman who made a training at HP. I work for HP. And I asked her, how long did it take you to integrate in France, to start speaking, to start to get friends? She told me, after 5 years, it's become better. I said, no, I don't have this time anymore. So I was lucky and I was invited to an open session at WNG, so where I met Mickey, and I met my dear friend Jackie, and I started to regularly participate in the meetings, and it really opened doors to everything. So I started to meet like-minded women. I started to go out. I started to see women who, as me, didn't speak any French, set up in France. They were professional women managing their lives, and really now I am 4 years in France. I have French nationality, and I feel myself really very much integrated, and finally I can say that I'm happy. So my recommendation, if you are moving, find a network. So I was lucky. Miki has set up this strong network of working women. But if you don't find any, just do as Miki and build it for you. Okay, thank you.
All right. If this is what I'm going to suggest, if you have questions, we'll just hang out outside, and you can stop by and ask, and we'll be happy to continue the conversation. But what we'd really like to do now is give you guys a chance to do a little network with each other, okay? Instead of questions and answers. So I will explain. Tatiana, do you need cards? We're going to give you business cards. I learned something from Nancy. My cards do not have my picture on them. However, in concert with Nancy's recommendation, they do have a gift on the back side. The gift you will find on the back of the card from the WWNG is a networking tip. So everybody has a WWNG business card? Do you guys each have one? Okay. 2 is okay. If you want to take 2, but you can keep 1 and pass 1 on, okay? Would anybody like a second card? Okay, go ahead and pass out 2 to everybody. Thanks, guys. So now you have 2. I hope they're both different, okay? Okay, take a different one. So now you see that the cards are not the same. Don't put them away, you're going to need them. Don't put them away, you're going to need them. The cards are not the same. Each card is different. So, everybody's got 2? What you're going to do now is find somebody else in the room that has the same tip as one of your cards. Okay? When you find that person, the 2 of you sit down together. Try to find somebody you don't know already. You're going to sit down together and talk to each other and see if you can find 3 things, or as the Americans would say, 3 things in common that have nothing to do with WEF or being a woman, okay? Something about who you are, what you're doing, what you're looking for. Talk to each other, find 3 things in common, okay? So, and you can use the space on the back of the card to make notes about who you're talking to so that you can reconnect via LinkedIn when you leave this conference and you can follow up. Okay? So find your partner. Is there anybody who doesn't have a partner? Raise your hand if you don't have a partner.